Okay, so welcome to the class. Today we will talk about is the railway sector in India, and Indian Railways, it is called in short form as IR, as I said also. So Indian Railways is basically, when you're talking about Indian Railways, you are basically talking about they have been the prime movers, as you see, of the Indian industry on Indian commercial centers. And Indian communication without railways is like very difficult, because it is one of the largest networks. If you see also, that is why, as I said also, it is very important. So as I said also, they are the prime movers to the nation, and they have the distinction of becoming the second largest railway system in the world under a single management. So Indian Railways has historically played an important integrated a role in the socio-economic development of the country, and its role in the importance due to the advantage of a mode of surface transport being more energy efficient, and it is also environment friendly than other transport modes. Okay, so as I said, let's talk about the segments. So first one, it is under the Government of India. Okay, and Indian Railways is a department undertaking of the Government of India, which owns and operates the modes of India's rail transport. Now Indian Railways is overseen by the Ministry of Railways, and as of March, you know 2016, IHAR has a total route network, if you see the network, okay, of about 66,687 kilometers spread across 8,500 stations. Okay, and as I said, it operates more than 22,300 trains daily. Okay, so this is the backdrop of Indian railway system, and as I said, now railways are further divided into two. Let me explain you. So they are further divided into two railways, that is the passenger and freight. Okay, so passenger is as of 2016, 13,000 passenger trains are in operation, and over 23 million passengers travel by trains daily in India, and the passenger traffic stood at 8,219 million in 2017, and around 1,107.10 million tons of freight. Now let's talk about freight transport via trains is done, and it is expected that it will grow double times, like 2,165 million tons is expected to grow in 2020. Okay, so what is the importance of railway? See, railway provides the most cheapest and the most convenient mode of passenger transport, both for long distance and also for suburban traffic. Now railways have played an important role in the development and the growth of industries also. Then railways help in supplying the raw materials and other factory sites and finished goods to the markets. Okay, now agriculture also owes its growth to the railways to a great extent, because now the farmers can sell the agriculture produce to distant places, and even sell them in the world market at remunerated prices, and this all is being possible, or is possible due to the railways. Okay, now railways are particularly suited to long distance journey, and they provide a strong medium of national integration. So railways are specially suited to bulky materials like coal, petroleum and ores. Okay, so if you talk about in railways in development aspects in India, let's see a snapshot. First of all, it's world's third largest rail network, and Indian Railways, as I told you, has 12,617 passenger trains. Commercial front, it has 107.1 million tons of freight was transported via trains in 2017. Now growing of public and private partnership. Okay, so private sector companies are being encouraged to participate in the railway projects, which were largely in the public domain. So now privatization is also coming up, and the cabinet has approved the participative models for rail connectivity and capacity, to see that new projects have come with private ownership also, and this will also help, in the launch of rail technology. Okay, so there is a launch, you can write down here also, the launch of foreign rail technology cooperation scheme, along with revamping PPP for better results. Okay, so Indian Railways has also launched mobile ticketing services, enabling the customers to receive tickets on short message service. Okay, now Indian Railways is also planning to launch an integrated mobile application for availing the travel related services such as hiring taxis, pre-ordering a meal, and then requesting for porter services, lodging a retiring room, etc. And Indian Railways is also considering to introduce the lightweight aluminium coaches in the rail network to reduce the traveling time between the metropolis by 2018. And if you're seeing, it has already been started. And manufacturing of modern link Hoffman Bush courses. Okay, so let me write down this also. This is a very new concept which Indian Railways is introducing. So manufacturing of modern link Hoffman Bush coaches has started in 2017, and these coaches are equipped with modern technology and can prevent capsizing during derailment. So during the derailment, it protects the train. So this is very important. Now what are the growth drivers, what are the advantages, and what are the reasons of good railways? Okay, so drivers for railways growth. So first is, it is growing demand. Second is opportunities. Third is FDI, and then fourth is infrastructure. So growing demand, if you see, it is increased the urbanization and rising increase in both the urban and the rural are driving growth in the passenger segment. And this growing industrialization across the country has increased the freight traffic over the decades. So in the last 10 years you have seen a lot of growth. And what are the opportunities? Yes, freight traffic is set to increase significantly due to good investment, and private sectors are also participating. And by this you can see also lots of metro rail projects are being coming up in many cities over the next 10 years also. Yes, what about the FDI? So there is a cumulative FDI inflows in railways related components from April 2000 it has started to June 2017. It has stood to almost $812.1 million. Okay, and the government in this sector has allowed, very important point, 100% FDI in the railway sector. Okay, and yes, talking about the infrastructure, the government has been investing heavily to upgrade the railway infrastructure, introducing new technological portal that would provide innovative technological solutions. So this is also very important. And yes, there is a huge revenue growth for railways also. Like if you see, in the last 10 years, revenues from the passenger segment has expanded. Okay, at total revenue, earnings are also increased. The railway has generated billions of dollars in the earnings. As of February 2017 also, Indian Railways is to manufacture semi high speed, yes, 160 km per hour world class trains under the Make in India initiatives. Okay, now this new train will be manufactured, which is from 16 fully air conditioned coaches will start. and this new train will be manufactured half of the import cost. So import will not happen, everything will happen in India, and integral coach factories will start in Chennai, Tamil Nadu. Okay, and yes, with 8 metro rail networks, okay, to spread over a length of 370 kilometers, and also over 2 dozen metro projects lined up. So India's metro rail network, if you see, is expanding at a very fast pace. Okay, the government as India has also allocated 2.75 billion for metro rail. So they are, even the government is spending a lot of money, and a lot of FDI is also inflow coming for the metro rail projects. Okay, so this is very important also. If you talk about also, now if let's talk about something which we can, which is not known to you. Okay, so this I will give you an information. Now if you talk about freight, so it accounts for more than 2/3 of railways revenues. Okay, so freight business for Indian Railways is supported by 9 commodities. And what are the 9 commodities which is supported? So that is coal, iron, steel, iron ore, food grains, fertilizers, petroleum products, etc. Okay, so profits from the freight segment, are used to cross subsidies to passengers. So freight, whatever the profits, it is utilized for the passenger trains. Okay, and the freight remains the major revenue, as I told you, earning segment for the railways, accounting for 64.32%. so major earnings. Okay, and from 2017 also we have seen that, followed by the passengers. So passengers is only contributing almost 36%, but 64% is the freight. So freight earnings is very important. Okay, so yes, let us talk about the subsidiaries of Indian Railways. So Indian Railways. So first we will talk about is Concur. That is a Navratna public sector unit under the Ministry of Railways. Okay, what is its role? It is a carrier, terminal operator, and also a warehouse operator. Okay, let's talk about the next one. Dedicated Freight Corridor Corporation. Okay, so now this is also set up under the Ministry of Railways. Okay, so what does it do? It undertakes planning and also development, then mobilization of financial resources, then construction, maintenance, and also operation of the dedicated freight corridor. And the short form is DFC. Coming to the name one, the next one is Rail Vikas Nigam. So let me write down here. Yes, Rail Vikas Nigam Limited. Okay, so this is created by the government of India, and it builds engineering works required by Indian Railways. Okay, so this is very important. Let's come to the next segment. The last subsidies of Indian Railways is R Railtel, RAITEL. Okay, now this is called as a mini Ratna public sector unit. It is the one of the largest neutral telecom infrastructure providers in the country. Okay, now it strives to modernize train control, operation and safety system of Indian Railways. Okay, so this is very very important. And yes, now talking about the public private partnership in the Indian Railways, now in December 2012 the cabinet approved the new policy of participative models. Yes, participative models, for the connectivity, the rail connectivity and capacity augmented projects. Okay, so this policy addressed the issues of the ownership of the railway line and repayment of the investment. Now since the launch of the policy, the railway authorities have received various proposals from private investors and have already given approval, and some places, if you have seen, the construction has also begun for 4 port connectivity. So yes, 4 port connectivity projects have started. Okay, and areas proposed for private investment during this period would include the elevated, already the projects which are elevated corridors in Mumbai, some parts of the dedicated freight corridor, and freight terminals, and then redevelopment of stations and power generation or energy saving projects. So in this the private investment is done heavily. Now railways have also started the PPP mode of funding and has already awarded projects with which amounted to almost around 1.73 billion dollars in the first 7 months of the first year of 2016. Now by first year 2017 the PPP investment is estimated to reach the US dollars of 2.7 billion dollars as per the revisited settlements, okay, or estimates. Now the cabinet has also approved the project of MUTP, okay, and that is at by March 2017. Okay, and the World Bank has also agreed to invest more than US $1 billion in this project, and the project would be executed. Let me write down. The project would be executed by Mumbai Railway Vikas Corporation, that is MRVC. Okay, so this is very very important, and other measures are also taken and proposals are including like construction of new lines. Then so let me talk about this also, very very important. Some more projects are coming up. So that is construction of new lines, that is Bhup, Devpur, Raigarh, okay, that is in Mand Koliri, and also the Gevra Road, Pendara Road, okay, and doubling. So double trains are going to start off, doubling of Palanpur, okay, Samakhaili section through the privatization and public enterprises route. So the PPP route they are following. So setting up of some modern signaling equipment facility at Chandigarh is also started development through the PPP project. So these are the most important developments, and as I said, I've explained to you about the Indian Railways thing also, and one by one. So let us go to the next topic also. We will talk about in detail about infrastructure only. So we will talk about is the recent initiatives by the railways. Okay, so let me just clear this. Recent initiatives by railways. Okay, so basically the initiative is urban transport. Demand has increased. Then M, ticketing, and E, ticketing. Yes, foreign investment, travel insurance scheme, okay, then semi high speed trains. Yes, also the new services which they are announcing. So basically, as I said, they are thinking about M ticketing, urban transport. So there's a rapid increase in the demand for urban transportation, and especially the Delhi Metro has emerged as an internationally acclaimed venture. The central government has also recently inaugurated the Pune Mail, the Pune Metro Rail project, the Pune Metro Rail project on December 24, 2016. And talking about e-ticketing schemes has been introduced to support 7,200 tickets per minute from the current capacity of 2,000. So the generation of tickets will be faster. Talking about Indian foreign investment, Indian Railways has received foreign investment worth 42,000 crores. Yes, that is almost $6.59 billion in May 2016 over the two contracts. So very important, two contracts, with one is with the European company and the other one is an American company. And then there are six major global players which have shown keen interest in developing ultra high speed trains in India. Obviously Japan is one of them. And yes, talking about travel insurance, railway has rolled out its insurance scheme for passengers, under which they can buy a premium of 1.52 cents while booking a ticket to get an insurance cover up of US $1.5 thousand. Okay, yes, talking about the semi high speed. So Indian Railways is trying to go for cost effective options to increase the speed from 160 kilometers to 200 kilometers per hour, especially on the existing routes such as Delhi Chandigarh and Delhi Agra. And companies from France, China and Russia have joined hands with Indian Railways to bring three semi high speed rail corridor projects on the track. Okay, now talking about is the new services. So Indian Railways has planned to build a 7 high speed rail corridors to provide faster rail connectivity across the country for high speed train projects. And don't forget, the cost is $1.7 billion here, million dollars. And as per the railway budget of 2016 and 17, the government has launched a new train. What is the name of the new train? Mahamana Express. Okay, so this is connecting to Varanasi and Delhi. Okay, and it is considered to increase the average speed of the freight trains to 50 kilometer per hour, and mail trains especially, or express trains, to 80 kilometers per hour by the end of 2020. Now, the Indian Railway has also collaborated with the government of Japan for the construction of high-speed passenger trains corridor between Ahmedabad and Mumbai, and the project commence has already started on August 2017. And in April 2017, the government has, because it just, now you should remember that everything has started from 2017 because the budget was in 2016 and 17. Okay, so April 2017 also, the government has announced intentions to develop 180 kilometers per hour, especially in the Delhi Rewari 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 Alwar region, which is a rapid transport system with an investment of around, almost to 5.5 billion dollars, US dollars. And this project would enable the passengers to travel from Delhi and Alwar. So Delhi to Alwar in just how many minutes? 104 minutes. Okay, now in February 2017, the government has planned to launch the Asta Circuit tourist train. So let me write down this also. So in 2017, the government of India has launched the Asta Circuit tourist train. Okay, so this is to promote the religious tourism in the country.